It is April 11th, and I'm doing this again on schedule the night before. That's the new schedule. So I can actually put this out Friday morning. And the last couple times I've said Friday morning, it's actually been right after I record it because I upload it to YouTube, and then there's no point in waiting because I'm going to have a video go out Friday morning at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. roughly. But let's talk about some updates. Some cool stuff going on. I'm excited. So taxes. Actually, that's not exciting at all. So we'll skip that. But that's been on my mind and stressing me out because no one likes taxes. Work has been good. It's cool. Like this is gonna sound like it's not good, but it's actually good. Kind of getting into this position now where there's like people are like, hey, like we got this as a priority. We gotta like I need help getting people on this, and it's not good because it's stressful because it's like crap. I have to make important decisions, and I have to force myself to ask questions for things I don't understand so that I can prioritize better. And then I'm stuck in this situation where I have people pulling in a lot of directions, right? So, for example, we have a big commitment for security related to some of the planning that we've done. And now that some part of the team has progressed on that, and it's like a cross team thing, they're going, cool, we've done the steps. Now we need some of the other people to help implement it. And I wasn't here at the beginning of the planning, so it's like, well, what do you mean other people? We don't have the other people. So I have to find the people. So it's a prioritization thing, which is a big part of the job, right? That's a big part of engineering management. So it's cool in the sense that it's forcing me to be in a spot where I can make decisions, right? Not it's not the decision making that's good, it's forcing me to be in a position where I need to have the information, right? Sounds kind of weird, but I equate this to being like when you are put on call for the first time. It's wildly uncomfortable, right? You're like, "Oh my goodness, if someone pages me, I have to help out." And then you finally get paged for something and you're panicking. You're like, "I don't know what I'm doing." But that's not the whole point, but I mean, that's the whole point about learning is that, and especially with on call stuff, you're kind of put into these situations where, like, you are forced to learn, and it's cool because during it doesn't feel so great for most people. Certainly not for me, but afterwards you reflect and you're like, oh man, like now I know some stuff. It's kind of similar with what I'm talking about for this prioritization stuff. So this past week has felt a lot like that. So stressful. And actually, that's a good segue. This week, content creation has been very difficult. I have not written a single blog post, and that makes me feel really bad. I was getting into the habit of getting 6 blog posts done plus the newsletter. So I had written content every single day of the week. I think I had done that for 3 or 4 weeks straight. Before that was, 4 to 5 articles plus the newsletter. So I was getting there and then got to the once a day thing and it kind of just fell apart this week. I mentioned, sorry, something in my throat. I mentioned in the last video, like at the end, the caffeine thing, right? So I'm still trying that. This is the second week. My sleep has been awful. And I should clarify because I think some people, if I just said caffeine, you're like, oh, if you're taking caffeine, you're not going to sleep. Not what I'm getting at. I fall asleep. There's no problem with me falling asleep. I fall asleep very well. But this week in particular, I don't know what it is, but I was waking up a lot, so I didn't have consistent sleep. And I would wake up, and it's not like I had racing thoughts, like I'm, stressed about something, like not at all. Just the normal amounts of life stress, I guess. Like maybe it's the taxes, right? But just being in this, like I'd wake up and I'm like, like I don't know, was there a loud noise? Like did my wife like roll over and hit me or something? Like I don't know. Like I would just kind of wake up and be awake and be like, okay, and then go back to sleep. And for multiple nights this week that was happening. So I've had to sleep in like every single day this week because I've had terrible sleep. And then I'm trying to delay the caffeine intake, so that's been awful. um, so overall, like not a good time for being productive. Having to take naps every single day after work. Like today at 8 o'clock, I took a nap from 8 to 8:15. I set my alarm for like 8:25 or something, but I went to sleep just after 8, woke up naturally at 8:15, and I feel like, so that's what, like 12, 13 minutes of sleep, let's say. I wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm good. It makes no sense. But then like I'm not good. I'm already exhausted, right? It's only been, a couple hours. And I said exhausted and it made me think of being tired and now I yawn. So I mean, yeah, it's just the reality. Like I'm very tired this week and that's not helpful. So, my wife has traveled back to Canada to go to her cousin's wedding. I'm not leaving the US for visa purposes, so I'll leave it at that. But she's traveled and so she's gone until I think Sunday. I think Sunday. So I have kind of like, the week. I'm basically just gonna work on content straight. Yay! But I'm hoping I can do some catch up. So that's my plan. So Friday evening, Saturday, Sunday, just content, content, content. Now, on the content front, what's going on? So lots of stuff, which is good. This week in particular, I did two software engineering related interviews. Actually, the first person that I interviewed this week is not a software engineer, but we spoke about software engineering. She does a lot of work with software engineers and coaching and stuff like that, alongside a software engineer. So that was really good. We talked about branding, which I like a lot of these talks that aren't hyper focused on like a technical skill. I do want to get some people on to talk through code and like maybe do some show and tell. I think that's going to be really cool to do. But this one was much more about like, again, like communication style skills. So we talked about branding, which is interesting because in software engineering you probably don't think about it. You gotta swallow a yawn. Don't want to be yawning on camera. And like the idea there being, if you're especially, I think some people think maybe, okay, well, you're talking about just having an online presence and trying to network, and like that's part of it. But what was cool, and so Anna Miller is who I interviewed, and what's cool about it is that you can apply those concepts even internally, right? So the takeaway from that was like she said it really well, and I'm gonna butcher it when I go to say it. But I asked her, like, would you define branding this way? And she said, no, I would define branding as how people talk about you when you're not in the room. So I said it back to her. It kind of sounds like culture at a company, right? Like you don't say this is the culture, therefore go do the culture. With branding, it's similar. You say, here's how I communicate, here's the things I do consistently when I communicate, and as a result, people say things about you which are your brand. Like I'll make stuff up, right? Like Nick is collaborative. Like they would say that about me when I'm not in the room. Nick is curious, right? So my brand would be someone who's helpful and curious, kind of thing. Um, and that's important because I think you can be aware of your brand. You can try to shape it and have direction with it if you're aware of it, and if you're not, you I think everyone has a brand, right? But you might not, you might not know or have been caring, but that can be something that you try to steer and have a bigger impact for career trajectory. So I think it's important. I thought it was a really cool conversation. Then I interviewed another guest. He's got an awesome. He's got two newsletters. They're both awesome. Does a lot of stuff on LinkedIn. Um, Really cool guy. I'm gonna keeping the names out until next week when his drops. Anna's is out as of earlier today, so that's cool. So I did two interviews this week. I have another one scheduled for not next week, but the week after. So that's super cool. And I'll try to get more. I've reached. I think I mentioned this in the last video, but I've reached out to a couple pretty big names. One one has not responded to me, but I know that he is. I know he's busy, like extremely busy with something right now. So I suspect he probably saw it and was like, I'll park this until I'm just kind of through what I'm doing. And the other's actually in a similar boat, but has responded to me. And I remember saying this in the last video. He didn't say no. He was kind of like, yeah, like get back to me at this state. So that's going to be a cool one too. So anyway, I think those are going awesome. Did a live stream. This is cool. So I'm gonna be careful. I don't suck at live streaming. I am inexperienced at live streaming, and I'm trying to practice more. So this is gonna be great practice doing more of them. And this past Monday's live stream was super cool because I upgraded my Restream license so I can stream to more platforms. And when I was doing it just to YouTube, I think I had like, I don't know, I think I had like 6 concurrent viewers last time. I was pretty excited about it. I mentioned it in the video. And this, I can't remember what I peaked at this time on YouTube. Still not much, maybe 8 to 10 or something. But I had people on YouTube consistently. I had like, these are, these numbers aren't very big, but it's really cool. I think I had like 20 to 30 on both LinkedIn and Twitter separately, right? So that's 40 to 60 people between those. I don't think anyone joined on Facebook, and I think I actually got 2 people on Twitch. I don't think I've ever had anyone on Twitch aside from bots. And someone on Twitch asked a question, and I got 2 followers on Twitch. Right? Like I know, I know that's nothing, but like it's not nothing. That is something, right? It's not as big as what my YouTube channel is. Not that my YouTube channel's like you know super impressive or anything, but you got to start somewhere. So I'm really excited about that. I thought I did pretty well, so I think I can say that. I noticed what was really cool is like this is probably a positive sign. I set up some content that I wanted to go through. I wanted to walk through my newsletter, and then I got sort of to the end, and there's a couple questions I hadn't answered in the chat because there were chat questions, which is awesome. And I spent like another 25 minutes. They were like, "Hey, can you tell us about some part of your career journey?" And I started ripping. Like it was cool. That was like a very natural way for me to present and share information. The stuff before that, it wasn't scripted by any means. Like I had sections I wanted to get through, but it's I still had stuff I wanted to touch on, right? So like I'm kind of going through it and being like consciously thinking, "Oh, make sure you talk about this." Whereas when I was answering that last question, it was just like just flowing, which is cool. I personally think that if I do more live streaming, like that's the feeling I want where I'm not holding back too much, trying to think too hard about what to say. I'm just going. So anyway, that was a really cool, fun experience. Be doing it Monday. I'll keep doing it. Okay, so software interviews, live streams. I mentioned my blogs are not doing so hot because I haven't been writing them, but I'm going to try to catch up. Couple more things. So I might have mentioned this last week. I have my first sponsored content I'm going to put out. I did mention this. I must have because it sounds familiar in my head as I'm saying it. So I am still working on that. I am actually excited about this because uh, I I'm going to try getting through. I'm hopeful they'll sponsor the other follow ups. If they don't, I'm still going to go through it because, like I said, I'm not gonna take a sponsorship for something I'm not interested in. To me, that's kind of silly. This isn't meant to be bragging or boasting. I'm not in a position where like I need to rely on sponsorships to like pay my mortgage kind of thing. Um, any stuff on the side is really for me to offset the costs for me creating content. That's how I look at it, right? So like for example, I bought like today I bought a SEMrush license for the year. It's $1,200 so that I can do better at my SEO. That's what $100-ish a month because after tax and whatever and some discount in there. But so $100-ish a month, like on that between YouTube, my blog, and some other things, like I might be making $100 ish. But then there's the hosting, there's the domain name, there's like the plugins, there's so like um yeah, any extra money coming in from like sponsor things helps for sure. It's just not that it's needed. Okay, so that's gonna be cool. I need to send over some content for them to review, but I'm going to try basically all next week, like LinkedIn posts. I will do a newsletter article on it and a YouTube video. and it might the end result might not be public right after that, um, but it will be shortly after if they don't want to sponsor the others for whatever reason. And if they do want to sponsor, I'll push it out because I'll have to take more steps to build up more content. But after, like, I'll release the product and it should be pretty cool. So I'm excited to kind of go through that process. So that's some sponsored content. Uh, I had oh man, I don't have it here. I'm so stupid. I should have brought it here for this. I received in the mail the book that I did the forward to. Actually, you know what? This is I don't edit these. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna go get it because it needs to be on this. You wait. You wait right there. I'll even run for you. Okay, I promise I ran a little bit. Okay, so um now I'm super out of breath and you're gonna hear me huffing and puffing to try and catch my breath. Okay, so Pact is a book publishing company and they've helped me do some giveaways and stuff. Pact doesn't pay me. They just have software engineering books, and especially in C Sharp, and they're really good. And they've sent me a couple, and then they help me do giveaways, and I've given away some for newsletter subscribers and LinkedIn posts. So they reached out and they were like, "Hey, do you want to write a foreword for this book?" And I was like, "I have literally no idea what that means. Like, I don't know what's involved with writing a foreword. Um, I know that they're at the beginning of books, but I don't know what that is. I've never written one. I probably have never read one. I've probably seen them, but never read them." So we talked about it, and they're like, "Here's the book," and so they sent me like a draft of it. Right? No one's ever sent me a draft book before, like a full book. I'm holding it. It's not like it's a book. It's big. So they sent me the draft of it, and they're like, have a read through. Full transparency, I didn't read every single page of this book in the draft, but I went through the content, and then I wrote a foreword. I wrote a foreword, so my work is in this book, and like, how can I get this on here? My name is on this book. How cool is that, right? Where's my finger? Boop. My name is right here. That's so awesome. I like uh cool. It's not my book obviously, but it's really cool. And then it's not gonna it's not gonna focus properly, but it's cool because like this forward, that page, and the next one is written by me. So it's cool. I'm in a book. I did it. I'm basically almost published. I would have just had to do another almost 800 pages. That's almost a full book. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. That's cool. And Pact is going to do. We're gonna try to do a couple more giveaways. So I'm gonna try to do one tomorrow. That's pretty last minute, but I'm gonna like they want to, so it's like yes, I will do it. That's cool. And then we're gonna do another one next weekend as well. So it's just really cool. I'm excited about that. So that's a cool new thing for me. Okay, what else? We're getting on 20 minutes here. I want to wrap it up because I know that you're super excited about these, but I figure probably after a few minutes you're like, Nick, shut up. So the other thing that some people have noticed, others maybe have not or they haven't said anything, but I did get a video editor. So there is someone editing my videos. The software engineering interviews they are not doing. That's because the time for like they're long videos. I get charged for time spent, and the edits for those are very minimum in my opinion. Kind of like how I don't even edit these ones because the whole point is that I want it to just be natural, right? Same thing with those conversations. And the parts that need editing are kind of like when the video glitches or like we're on the call, and like this last one with, or the one that I did with Anna had a lot of delays, like a lot. So she would be talking and then it would just stop. And I would be like, okay, okay, okay. And then it would kind of like skip. It wouldn't fast forward, but kind of skip to like the last little segment of what she said. So we did pretty good because it was like that the entire time. But there was one or two times during that where I assumed that she was done speaking, and then because I can't hear her, or it sounded like she finished, but she probably saw that I was delaying and she started speaking, but I also jumped in to start speaking, and then I can't tell because it's delayed. So there's a couple of those, and I tried to work around that. And there's a couple like where she didn't, like she waited for me to start speaking. So there's just like, if you watch it after, when the two video streams are put together, it looks absurdly awkward, right? But for both of us, we're getting a delay. So it kind of looks like two people on a call just being like and waiting. But like I know because I can remember the conversation, I can remember those moments, and it's like you don't notice them because you think the other person's talking, right? So anyway, those are quick for me to edit because I know where to go, trim it up, and then I put an intro on it. Not a big deal. But he's been doing the other ones, and I'm very happy with them. Um, I had a really bad experience on Fiverr trying to get someone to make a thumbnail for me. Right? I think I don't know if I talked about this on here, but it went from being like a $7 Canadian or something thumbnail. Like I think it was Canadian because my Fiverr account's in Canadian dollars or something. It ended up being like $30 to $35 US or something after all of the like the fees and the tip and stuff. And like no offense, but like it was just not a good thumbnail at the end. Like I'm not gonna not pay the person, but like I'm not spending 35 bucks on every video for a thumbnail. Like, not happening. So the budget for the video editing, I'm very happy with. The guy is very conversational, so we can go back and forth on stuff. So I'm super stoked on finding someone to do this. Um, it's like then the next question is okay. Well, what about the quality of the edits? And in my opinion, I'm like, it is absolutely better than my editing. Would it be fair to say that he's the best editor in the world? I don't think he would say that. But like, is it good? Like, I'm absolutely happy with it. And I think there's a few more things. Like we said, we didn't want to go changing the edits to be completely different, and then people are like, what's this channel? Like it just changed. Um, so there's definitely like a period right now where we're like keeping it mostly consistent. And then I think he'll start to. He said he has some ideas that we can chat through, and that way we can start to actually make it a little bit more spruced up. But I've been very, very happy with what he's done, and the values there for what I'm paying. So overall, really excited. I think that's it. I probably have to get to bed pretty soon because I want to try waking up early tomorrow and not sleeping in until like 9 because I don't know, it's just been really rough. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Um, I appreciate the support. I hope that you find some of this interesting. Sorry that I had to go running away to get the book. I don't run that fast, but I did my best and I finally caught my breath. So with that said, take care and I'm going to go to sleep. See you later.